قولي رب زدني علما رب زدني علما نافعا في الدنيا والآخرة. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another session of Taffaqah, the deeper understanding of the Quran. So far we had completed the first 14 verses of Surah Nisa, and as you would remember, the Surah Nisa is all about getting the Islamic society ready, both internally and saving it from the external effects which can disrupt that. So we had looked at the two important aspects of making it stable. One was the orphans, the weakest sections of the society, and the women as well. Now we will look at the external effects which are trying to cause problems for this society, which want to destroy this society, and that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to mention in these ayahs. The 15th ayah, Allah says, وَاللَّاتِي يَاتِيَانِ الْفَاحِشَةَ مِن نِسَائِكُمْ فَاسْتَشْهِدُوا عَلَيْهِنَّ أَرْبَعَةً مِنْكُمْ فإن شهدوا فأمسكوهن في البيوت حتى يتوفاهن الموت أو يجعل الله لهن سبيلا. That upon those of your women who commit fornication, fahisha means somebody who is a fahisha. In here, wallati is mentioned, your women. So this specifies that these are prostitutes. So the women that are mentioned over here are the prostitutes who are into prostitution. فَاسْتَشْهِدُوا عَلَيْهِنَّ أَرْبَعَةً مِنْكُمْ. But even for prostitution, you have to have 4 people to actually verify that yes, this woman is engaging in prostitution, and this is my evidence. فَإِنْ شَهِدُوا, and if the evidence is proved, فَأَمْسِكُوهُنَّ فِي الْبُيُوتِ حَتَّى يَتَوَفَّاهُنَّ الْمَوْتُ أَوْ يَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ لَهُنَّ السَّبِيلَ. Then you should make them captives in their own homes, meaning they should be house arrested. They should not be let out. Now remember, at that time, there were no prisons. So now the judgment would be they should be kept in the prison. But حَتَّى يَتَوَفَّاهُنَّ الْمَوْتَ أَوْ يَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ لَهُنَّ السَّبِيلَ, or up until Allah creates a way for them. And Surah Nur later on was mentioned, because as I mentioned previously as well, these issues were dealt in the society were dealt gradually by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because you can't just go all guns blazing in a society that has been in a deep quagmire of debauchery, corruption, and all those aspects. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here mentions that those women who are prostituting, they should be imprisoned, number one, or up until they die. So they should not be let out at all. It's not just imprisonment, they should be left there up until they die. Or Allah creates a law for them, meaning a method for them. And as I mentioned in Surah Nur, Allah mentioned the law of 100 lashes for people who are caught doing this. So this first part, some people have misunderstood that this is for women and then this for men and women. Or they just tried to explain that this is women who have had fornication with a non-Muslim, whereas the other one is a Muslim and non-Muslim, but that's nothing like that. You can see quite categorically over here, only females are mentioned over here, which means that they are prostitutes. That's why men are not mentioned over here, because this is the prostitution that is talking about. And then the next ayah, Allah clearly mentions, وَاللَّذَانِ يَاتِيَانِهَا مِنْكُمْ فَآزُوهُمَا. And the man and the woman who among you commits fornication, chastise them. فَآزُوهُمَا. Azu means to give them iza, to give them trouble, to cause them trouble, to chastise them, to punish them, to rebuke them. All these things are included in that. But obviously, we are talking about before the law of 100 lashes came into being. So then again, the question once again arises. Sometimes people think, oh, well, so this is not valid. No, it is always valid. Why? Because the circumstances can change, like we have in this country. We do not have the law of punishing people who are fornicating or who are fornicators. So what do we do? فَآزُوهُمَا. They should be chastised, they should be rebuked, they should be tried to be guided away from that, they should be given encouragement to keep away from them. So all this is فَآزُوهُم. Although azu is a negative term, which means you should punish them, you should rebuke them, but it also includes in its essence to bringing them back. Yeah. فَإِن تَابَ, and the very ayah next to it alludes to that. فَإِن تَابَ, so if they do tawbah, وَأَسْلَهَا, and detest from doing all these things, فَأَعْرِضُ عَنْهُ, then you should forgive. Big thing, which we never do. If somebody has done a big, small mistake, let alone fornication, if somebody's done a small mistake, he will be reminded all his life, oh, you know that day you had done this? I know you, I know everything about you. So Allah says, even if they have done that, but if they do tawbah and they improve themselves, they do not engage in such activities, faridun, then leave them alone. Do not trouble them. Inna Allah kana tawwabur rahim. Remember, Allah is the acceptor of tawbah and He is very rahim. He's extremely merciful. So if He is merciful and He is forgiving, who are you not to forgive? So again, Allah is mentioned in this. Then if it wasn't clear as to who are the people who should be forgiven or who Allah accepts as tawbah, the next ayah, which is 17, explains this. Allah says, إنما التوبة على الله للذين يعملون السوء بجهالة ثم يتوبون من قريب فأولئك يتوب الله عليهم وكان الله عليما حكيما. The tawbah of the acceptance of tawbah for Allah is only for those people who commit these sins bijahalatin, in the state of jahiliyyah. Now, jahala in the Arabic word is not like the Urdu word which people use. Jahala means ignorance as well, but the actual in Arabic and in Quranic terminology, it is against hilm, not against ilm. Hilm means somebody who's able to control his emotions and passion, whereas a jahala or jahiliya means somebody who is unable to control his or her emotions. So a person who commits this mistake by being overwhelmed by his or her emotions and under the influence of that they commit it, but summa yatubuna, then they immediately, as soon as it's possible for them, straight away they do tawbah, Allah will accept their tawbah. Allah will forgive them. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ عَلِيمًا حَكِيمًا, because Allah is aware of everything, how they did it, why they did it, what happened, and Hakima, and He is full of wisdom. He understands human nature, and He understands that people may have made a mistake under the being overwhelmed by their emotions, but they improved themselves, they detested from it, and changed their path. And وَلَيْسَتِ التَّوْبَةُ لِلَّذِينَ يَعْمَلُونَ السَّيِّئَاتِ حَتَّى إِذَا حَضَرَ أَحَدَهُمُ الْمَوْتُ قَالَ إِنِّي تُبْتُ الْآنَ وَلَلَّذِينَ يَمُوتُونَ وَهُمْ كُفَّارٌ. However, two categories of